My name is Fadwa Wazwaz, and I was at a protest yesterday at the University of Minnesota. And I wanted to discuss some things regarding that event, but more in general regarding protests that are taking place, regarding situation in Gaza as well as the occupied territories. I'd like to share something, if I may, that I just put together this morning. And I wanted to bring to people's attention what is really taking place right now is at times our values clash with our profits. And this is not just for the University of Minnesota, but all universities are being called right now to acknowledge and recognize that the values they claim to uphold are clashing with the profits that they are making regarding a particular problem that is impacting other people's lives in ways that are not just unbearable, but are criminal. Student body at the University of Minnesota, I'm not speaking for all students, but those that were protesting, and all the students are protesting across the US, as well as now this is becoming a global movement, are asking universities to take a principled stand, an ethical stand, a moral stand. It helps to ask us to reflect on what our values are, that we are upholding, that we are claiming, that we are going on stage and saying these are our mission and this is our vision. And as to use the words of, I think his name is Michael Fakir, Johan Rapporteur also, I believe. And he mentioned we are hearing a lot of talk, a lot of lovely words, but there is a genocide taking place in Gaza. And our values regarding genocide are clashing with the profits we are making with relationships that we have with those engaged in the genocide, funding the genocide, supporting the genocide. We are called as universities to reflect on, are we educational universities promoting the common good, equipping the coming generations with problem-solving skills to solve our human problems, or are we now a business seeking to benefit from problems that impact our shared humanity? History has shown us time and time again that those who reap the benefits of a problem cannot be trusted to solve that said problem. We know that these universities are benefiting from relationships that they have with Israel. Israel stands accused of genocide. It is also engaged in occupation. It is also engaged in apartheid and various other criminal activities. We must seek solutions from those directly affected by the issue rather than allowing those profiting from it to take control or to dominate the conversation, as well as the solutions for how to resolve this said situation. Our perception of the problem is not based on our ego or our feelings or our tribe. This was based on a case being brought before the ICJ, International Criminal Court of Justice, which issued provisional measures regarding Gaza. Also, the US recognizes the Geneva Conventions, and I will not be speaking to universities on what that entails when a country like Israel is in violation of the Geneva Conventions. When universities fail the test to follow the mission and vision they claim to uphold, it is reasonable it is advisable, it is highly recommended for students to raise alarm bells regarding the conflict of interest and moral and legal violations that are taking place, which universities who have chosen to have that financial investment with Israel are complicit in those same criminal activities. It is illogical to consider students criminals when universities knowingly choose to be involved in said criminal activity. These crimes are not based, again, on emotions, but are legally recognized through due process that we saw taking place of international law, based on international law. So it's not about Sharia here. And they're determined by reputable, respectable legal experts in the field of genocide, international law, Geneva Conventions, who have no personal gain from such verdicts. In conclusion, universities are called to recognize their values, which they claim to uphold, are clashing with their profits from Israel's criminal activities. They must choose between their values or their profits. They must make it clear without the facades, the fabrications, the smear campaigns against students and others, and the lovely words that a lot of this criminal activity is wrapped around with. So I hope we can acknowledge the clash is not between students and universities, but the clash is between universities' claims of certain values clashing with the profits from Israel's criminal activity. That is the situation on the table. And that's what you're called upon to reflect on and to make a decision on. It is impacting other people's lives. It is not feelings, but we are seeing children being incinerated day after day, day after day. This has to stop. It cannot continue. You are complicit. Thank you.